Into the fray.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
That
How
should
you
be on
doing,
the
my guy?
shirt. If not Steven Seagal's picture on, then Into the Fray at least it should be on the shirt.
Absolutely. And if we could get Steven Seagal to wear one of our shirts, so much the better. But then
That'd
again,
be double, double awesome.
yes, indeed. And also, I would assume, kind of with his social standing right now, he wouldn't be above coming on over and wearing a shirt and maybe giving us a plug or two, or, talking with us, or just giving us a commercial voiceover. Just say, hey, go to Bloody Thumbs. And then he roundhouse kicks the guy in the face.
How cool would it be if I got him to do that? That'd be pretty awesome.
That would be pretty awesome. He might be in Expendables 3, though, so he might be just a little bit above the paycheck, but who knows?
I gotta get him before he gets on there. So
Absolutely.
before he becomes another big star after Expendables 3.
Mhm. I just like the fact that in Expendables 2, the only reason why I feel like the only reason why Chuck Norris is even included is because of the fact that the meme that was generated with like Chuck Norris is so strong or Chuck Norris is so awesome that blank just like dot 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 where it's just the craziness shenanigans was just so popular that like it's like oh we got to include him because he's like an action star. I'm pretty sure there are other action stars of the 80s and 90s who had an action movie come out that were just as popular as Chuck Norris without the internet jokes, and that's probably why I feel like that's the only reason why he's even in Expendables 2.
I disagree. Walker Texas Ranger was a fantastic, action-packed weekly episodic show.
I, I, I the only exposure I had to that show was just like a few weird bits here and there where it would either be like on like Conan's like episodes of Walker Texas Ranger scenes that are taken out of context, or there was like a few episodes that I saw of like apparently like Walker and like an Indian spirit guide were trying to resurrect a spirit or talk to a spirit, and it was one of the weirdest things that I've ever seen. Just because like they were all like, talking straight face, like, all right, we need to resurrect the spirit in order to get a good conviction out of this case. Like, I don't think that's gonna hold up in court. I just like no, this dead spirit told me that this guy totally killed him. Or it was this clip of just like this Walker and this little kid talking to. It was from the Conan's, I think, segment of taking scenes out of context, and it was just like they were talking and laughing with each other, and then everybody's like having a good time, like ah ha ha ha, ha. And then the little boy just like turns serious and he goes, "Walker says I have AIDS," and then it just cuts off from there. It's so wonderful and weird and terrific.
I was gonna bring that up too. That was the episode Haley Joel Osment was on, where his character had AIDS, and Walker was helping him out. Not with AIDS, that would have been cooler, but something else I don't remember. But I'll link you to the clip. This is the clip that has solidified Chuck Norris as a man and as a symbol. This is why he was in Expendables 2. Hold on to your butt, CH.
I'm holding on to both cheeks, man. I'm trying to see what you got for sale and what you're offering. And also, before I think we forget, welcome to another episode of Bloody Thumbs Podcast, everybody.
Yeah, I should I should do that on a weekly basis. I sometimes forget to do the intro there. Yeah, episode 111 with myself here, Spooner47, and CH Borog.
Hey. So now let me just take a quick look-see at the I love the title of the video already. It just says Chuck Norris kicks a car. I don't know to what extent, so I'm gonna see how it goes. I love the fact that it looks like they just like filmed it regularly and didn't even try to compensate at all for slow motion. They just like went, it would look really badass if this was in slow motion. I love. Oh, it doesn't look at all like Chuck Norris in the car in the same scene when he's doing the jumping kick right now. I'm only 9 seconds into the 19 seconds. But let's watch the rest of it. Okay, first off, the car like when he's finally like the car's going when he starts kicking, and then when he finally like when his feet reach the window, the car stopped completely.
It's the power of Chuck Norris's kick.
It's so powerful. His feet have its own electromagnetic pulse.
That's right. It wasn't the electromagnetic pulse that was the terrorist in Splinter Cell Conviction. That was Chuck Norris. He just roundhouse kicked the servers.
The Sam Fisher's next mission to stop Chuck Norris from detonating his feet.
Yeah, he's using his feet to his own gain. It's not for the greater good. Mm-mm.
Oh my god! And then also, what I love is that I know like TV shows and movies don't always have to adhere to the physics of the real world, but if just like debunking fantasies about glass in media and TVs and movies have shown me anything, is that he would have been torn to shreds by not only just like gently being like caressed on the side by a little shard of glass, but the fact that he is basically drowning in glass shards would probably indicate that he's probably not doing so well right now. But then again, he is Chuck Norris, so
you gotta take that into effect. I mean, with Mythbusters, you gotta at least take that into effect, and you have to do something else. You can't have Chuck Norris to recreate that scene, and only he could do it. That's going to be the end of that myth. It's going to be busted, but only for Chuck Norris. I don't know what are the Mythbusters like. Busted, and what are the other categories they give for something that's possible? I don't know. I haven't seen the show in a while. But
myths busted, and then myths like proven true, and then
probable or something like that.
Yeah, where it was actually funny just because somebody had speaking of myths busted. They had one myth on the show where it was like where if you shoot like a gas tank on a car, it'll explode, or if a car flips over, it'll explode. And they proved both of those wrong. And a buddy of mine here at the college of UWS Bankstown, he's actually in Canada, and when he was growing up, his teacher got several car wrecks where his car actually exploded every single time. Where like he crashed his car in front of a gas, and he ran as quickly as he could away from it because he was afraid it was going to blow up. And lo and behold, it did blow up. This guy is it became a human being. Where it's like things that he did defied the laws of physics. And there was one time where his car flipped over, and he got out of the car, and then the car exploded. And this man can turn the laws of physics against itself to make sure that it's more like a TV or movie logic. So I assume that Chuck Norris maybe had him on set, just like standing near him when he was doing all this crazy shenanigans so that he wouldn't get hurt, or maybe he just got a blood transfusion from him.
He sounds like he's living an action movie.
Well, he did live an action movie because that's how he died too. Apparently, he got into a car wreck and his car exploded. And when that was my friend, his name's Donald, and he was asking, how did he die? It's like, oh, he died in a car explosion. Everyone went, oh yeah, we saw that coming. Just because he got into so many car accidents where that was probably gonna what happened. They didn't even ask like even more revealing details at all. It was mostly just like, oh, that's how he died. Yeah, that makes sense. Like he could have been just like, I assume it's like he'd just grocery shopping, like putting the vegetables in the trunk and then going back into the car, just starting up the car, taking like, I don't know, like driving like 3 feet out in front of him. Then it was like wheel hit a rock and then they exploded.
Jesus.
That man, I have his genetic lineage is destined to probably fulfill the tropes of action movies, where it's just like, okay, the car explodes, that's one. His son is probably gonna, jump out a window, like glass shards everywhere from like a giant fireball running behind him, and he'll be fine. Or then Like maybe like his granddaughter will eventually be the one that's like hanging off a helicopter with just one hand and grabbing onto somebody else with the other. That lineage, I would say, is probably going to be the best. Those are going to be the best stunt people of all time.
I don't know if he would have preferred explosions or having to run away from something like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, running away from Tom Cruise and his Scientology pamphlets. That giant ass smile reflecting, the light burning everything in fat. It's like, I gotta get away from the smile.
That's how he's staying young. It's Scientology. So, all that good stuff.
Hearts too.
Yes, stem cells.
Oh yeah.
What was I gonna say? I forgot. But anyways, welcome again, everybody. I did send you that. We did. Did we talk about Expendables 2? And I did see it the weekend it came out. I don't recall we talked about it, but it might be a topic of another podcast. But I'm just saying that's a question here. I don't recall.
We did. I think we did not talk about Expendables 2.
Did you see it?
Seen it? No.
Ah.
Yeah. It's.
I could guarantee you at least 3 roundhouse kicks by Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, excellent. I was hoping that there would be a shortage on that, but now that, oh my gosh, that makes it even better. I have not seen it yet. I've heard really mixed things on it. I heard that some of the action is good, but the story is just absolutely terrible, and that it's even less comprehensible than the first movie. So I don't know, but now
I'll tell you this: it's in some ways better than the first one, and in other ways it's a bit not worse than the first one. I just felt that there are parts that really dragged, and then they tried to add some story and characters to the guys, trying to increase their kind of already set kind of relationship they have, and trying to kind of like the dogs, or the ward guys, and things like that. I don't know what I said there, but anyway, it was fine. I thought there were some parts that were kind of dragging a bit. It's like, I don't care. I just want to see some action and some things blow up.
Yeah.
And then they try to introduce some newer characters in there, and that was where some of the the things there that was kind of dragging took place, I believe. But for the most part, it was entertaining. Just near like the last 20 minutes were pretty good. And yeah, I don't want to say too much because it's gotta be seen to be believed. That movie.
I mean, the last time I was actually pleasantly surprised by Eric Roberts, who was just like, okay, you're basically just the same character from The Dark Knight, just enjoying this kind of newfound glory of being this smarmy Italian-esque kind of well-dressed, groomed, kind of slimy jerk. But is Van Damme the bad guy in this one?
Yeah, he was a better villain than Eric Roberts in Expendable 2 because he's more a physical guy. So Eric Roberts just has henchmen, so to say, and yeah, he was. I thought he did a pretty good job for what he was given. The lines are pretty cheesy, but I thought he did a pretty good, decent job, and I thought he was. One of the films I saw him before this movie was JCVD. Was sort of the kind of being John Malkovich of his type of movie there, where he played himself, and I thought that was a pretty good flick. It was like in French, but I think that was probably one of the reasons why he got on to be the villain on Expendables 2. But he was pretty good as a villain. Cheesy lines, like I said, and you don't get to see him too much until like you see him a couple times, but you don't see him as much as you would like to. I think that might be a good thing because the plot is not so good. So it's just pretty straightforward with him wanting to just steal plutonium and sell it. That's pretty much his whole motivation.
That sounds awesome, and I haven't seen JCVD yet, but I've heard good things about it. But I also, now that you got me thinking, for Expendables 3, let's have John Malkovich in there as the villain for Sylvester Stallone and the crew to fight off. Just one of the greatest actors of all time. I'd like to see him do some physical stuff. He's gonna
Yeah.
be Vulture in Spider-Man 4 until Sony said, "Now we're doing a reboot." So why not? Because he looks like he could fight off Schwarzenegger or Bruce Willis easily.
I mean, he could definitely play a good villain. You know, was it In the Line of Fire? He was a villain in that, and he was damn good in that. Was that the Clint Eastwood film right there?
It,
Yeah, I think that was it. I'm so bad at remembering movie names. And Johnny English, he was a good villain in that.
oh yeah, he's great, and also Burn After Reading, where he was just this guy, who's nothing but a sociopathical, egotistical maniac. Like he could do a good villain part from that.
Yeah, Burn After Reading, I thought it was all right. I think I need with the Coen Brother movies. I think I have to watch them more than once to appreciate it. I don't know. I've only seen that like once or twice, and I've only seen The Big Lebowski once, and I thought there were pretty good moments in that. I think it's definitely one of those films I got to see more than once.
I was right there with you for The Big Lebowski, where it was a lot that I didn't really think it was that amazing the first time around, but when I sat down to watch it a second time and a third time, it just kept getting better. And it's definitely one of those movies where it just keeps on improving with each viewing, and it is just so good. And but it is not as good as John Malkovich's role in Jonah Hex, where he played Quentin Turnbull. That film was just crap through every single pore. Where it was just so bad. And apparently, fortunately it was a short movie, but the problem was that it was so short that the credits actually only allowed it to get barely past the theatrical release mark for acceptable theatrical films to be long enough. So it wasn't even just like there was too much in it. It almost had nothing for it.
Yeah, I never saw it because I heard it was too short too, and yeah, it's probably. I bet the Warner Brothers animated movies are longer than that.
I don't know what it is. It was distributed by Warner Brothers, and it was done by Legendary Pictures and DC Comics. So you think they would get some really good talent behind it, but it seemed to be kind of just like shat out. And it's a pretty bad film when you have one of the main actors be Megan Fox and Will Arnett, Will Arnett. Yeah, I love him to death, but I don't really think that he could pull. Well, his character was like an army lieutenant, I think, but it was just not exactly that good. And but you know what's strange? Michael Fassbender's in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's not Magneto or sex crazed lunatic, but he was all right in the film. I mean, he's trying his hardest, obviously, just to make do with what he's got. But even he can't really bring this around.
No, I didn't expect too much from it. I do like the western. I like westerns, and that felt like it was sort of a little westerny, but I never got even close to watching that film. You'd think it'd be a success with Megan Fox. I mean, she's been in 2 big franchise blockbuster hits.
Yeah, but then again, she was kicked off of her own Opus Maximus or whatever you call it. Where dang it,
Gluteus Maximus.
Pardon?
Gluteus Maximus.
Yes, she was kicked off her own Gluteus Maximus, but of the Transformers films.
She didn't need it.
I don't like. I think she's good looking, but I've never found her that attractive. Just because she doesn't seem like she's enjoying her time there. Every time she's on screen, it looks like that she's like, oh man, I really want to be doing this thing, or it's like, oh, I really want to be on a roller coaster or something like that, or studying for an exam, or just anything else besides acting. It just does not turn out well,
Yeah, it seems like she just fell into it, but.
Yeah, but she's making money, so good for her.
Yeah, can't blame her. She's. I mean, there's definitely worse actresses than her, and I think she's average. at the
Yeah.
most. Like January Jones.
Yeah. Oh, January Jones. Yeah. January Jones, good-looking woman, but dang, if it's not usually kind of stunted performance from her whenever she's on Mad Men or whenever she's on X-Men First Class, where I don't understand what was the point of hiring her for. Well, I do understand because of sex appeal, but for Emma Stone's character and not Emma Stone, January Jones plays Emma Stone playing Gwen Stacy. No, it's uh I can't remember her name, but January Jones's character in X-Men First Class, where gosh, she was every time she was on screen, I just wanted to just cover my ears because like, oh, baby, you are trying too hard, and she does this head shaking thing where she like bobs side to side with her jaw. It's just one of those things where it was even more annoying on the third viewing just because like, oh yeah, she does do that. Now I can't pay attention to anything else.
I think she does that in Mad Men now. Now I'm gonna be looking out for that when I see it.
Yeah. She has what George Clooney had a little bit in his earlier career. He had the bobblehead syndrome, where and it's like I think the character that she plays was supposed to be British and like very intelligent, and that she was kind of no one's puppet or bitch or and anything along those lines. But it's like, oh, she's taking orders from Kevin Bacon. Well, to be fair, it is Kevin Bacon, but she's just taking orders from Kevin Bacon apparently just because of reasons. And she also like she didn't even attempt to do the British accent. She's like, you might as well have hired Larry the Cable Guy for the role just to get that accent perfect.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, basically, yeah, same thing. It's the exact same thing.
God damn.
Yeah. But speaking of great action films with good comedy in them, referring to Expendables, which I thought was funny at times. Have you seen the movie Black Dynamite?
I only saw half of it.
Oh man, it is. I love it so much, and just one of my favorite lines of all time. Just I'll also put it up there for. I'm gonna write this down. You can see the entire up on YouTube right now. I'm doing you all basically a public service. Please go out and watch this movie, just because it is. I love it. I love this movie to death. It's a black comedy where it's spoofing all the bad blaxploitation movies of the '70s, like Dolomite or
Dolomite.
Kick-ass scenes of black, basically super going up, protecting the community. It is it's a knee slapping good time. And also, if you ever have the moment, if any of you have the moment, please go check out some of the episodes of the cartoon series on Adult Swim, just because it's stuff too, where it has like Mr. T being a cannibal. It has like Michael Jackson. He's actually an alien, like from the Jackson 5 times, or just so many wonderful, incredibly weird storylines that are going on. It's a good time.
Yeah, I need to watch the rest of that. I only saw half of it online, and then I had it was on some website where you had, for some reason, during like the middle of the movie, it would tell you you reached your limit on watching this movie. It's like, damn it, and then I didn't watch the rest of it. So I only got up to the part where I think he threw he threw something like a frisbee, or what are those things called? He threw something, and then it came back like a couple of minutes later. Like, see ya, and then he was like, see ya, I threw that shit 5 minutes ago.
I threw that shit before I walked in the room.
Yeah, something like that. I thought it was hilarious, and then that's when I cut out. It's like, damn it, I was enjoying this.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it is just one of those movies where it captures the flavor of those. You are pretty close to the end in terms of watching the movie. I'd say like probably 3/4 through it all, or 3/5.
I figured I wasn't that far off from the end, but I didn't get to finish it. But is it as good as Undercover Brother?
I would say it beats the crap out of Undercover Brother, where it just like that one was playing kind of black Asian kind of as a like Like, oh, look, it's a comedy. Look how stupid these things are. Like, and that's fine. I mean, look at like one of my favorite versions of that type of comedy is Spaceballs. But I like that one. But this one it's a comedy with a straight face where it definitely tries to say like no. This is definitely like a serious story about the man, and just like apparently the director actually got the inspiration for the movie from an actor film had something like the government poisoning the water supply of the black community, so whatever blaxploitation character was to actually save the day, and it was just so outrageous. I'm not doing it justice because I can't remember the story at the moment, but it was just such an outrageous premise that's the idea for Black Dynamite in terms of the kind of big conspiracy going on.
Yeah, it seemed like it had a pretty serious storyline, like Charles Barkley, Shut Up and Jam.
Absolutely, that is one of the only games that I have tried to play yet, and that's only because I've also been downloading some other games and playing Digital Love Story a little bit more.
Oh yeah, how's that been treating you?
I enjoy it. I genuinely like the interactions with everyone, and just I feel like it's one of those games that should. I mean, it's one of those games where you tell people about it, like I was just say like, you know what, it's just one of those games that some people like and that it has a cult following. But when you start to play it, it's actually it's actually really, really genuinely good. It has a good heart of it, and I like the fact that it's just one of these games where you have to actually kind of be thinking about how to log on into like different servers or how to connect with different people, and just figuring out who you are as a player just based on text alone from different characters. And just it's also I love the fact love story, but you're not really involved with it, and you're more trying to figure out who your character is than who these other characters are. And I gotta say, I'm still looking forward to playing the rest of it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Once you kind of figure out what's going on, it's very entertaining, and just want to go through all these different other sites and seeing what the heck's going on to advance the story, because you got to go through different like message boards and read through some stuff, and that's how it kind of advances through the story, and you unlock some newer numbers you can call, and then because after a while you use the same number, they get banned, and or blocked or whatever, and you have to go through back to a certain message board and get newer numbers from some guy on the message boards to go on to other message boards, things like that. I thought that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta replay that, I guess, if we could get into some deeper conversation about it, and then probably do something together and talk about it. But anyways, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I am, and I've downloaded Shut Up and Jam. I just haven't been able to get it working yet, just because I've been trying to get it working through Wineskin, and I'm apparently not using the tutorials right. But I downloaded it. I'm really interested into it. In fact, I went on to DeviantArt the other day just to see if there was any fan images that they've gotten. And believe it or not, yes, they do have some fan art of Charles Barkley, Shut Up and Jam.
Oh damn! I gotta get some of that. Put that on my wallpaper.
Absolutely, it is. I gotta say, it is pretty creative, and just it looks pretty epic. It's like the artist, whoever does the cover art for Final Fantasy, decided to like take a break and just decide to go with Charles Barkley's Shut Up and Jam, and damn, does it look epic.
Yeah, the game is pretty epic, so I think it definitely deserves a very big and just, I don't know what other word is for epic, but stupendous epic. Art.
Journey-tastic. Basketball-orific.
Things like that. Yeah, you're gonna be very pleasantly surprised when you play the first couple minutes of it. And we're back.
Yes, indeed. Hello. Sorry for that little break right there, but now we're back, and
breaks
so yeah. I don't remember what we were talking about. We're talking Digital Love Story, and
that's about it. Charles Barkley. Yeah, I gotta bring that up at least one time an episode. So
Oh, of course.
Keep it with tradition there. I haven't played it since we last spoke, so I gotta get back on that. I've just been playing some other things. I haven't even played Darksiders 2 either. The first one, I mean.
Hmm.
I've been doing some co-op with Dr. J on Dead Island. I never thought that I would buy Dead Island, but I did. The Dead Island Game of the Year edition. Don't ask how that got a Game of the Year edition, but it did.
I did see the walkthrough that you had, and it sounds like you were having a fun time trying to figure out how to switch between items to your melee items, and going around trying to find trying to find your direction. And that was actually the first time I've seen Dead Island in action. I mean, I've seen the cinematic trailer and some of the reviews, but not really anything where it's just pure gameplay. And,
Oh wow.
yeah, and I'm seeing the stamina bar just kind of be like for both your running and also for your melee attacks. And I mean, it looked beautiful. It looked like a very beautiful game, but it looked kind of, I don't know, like the gameplay mechanics might get in the way of its own fun.
It does at times. Early on, it was very tough. Early on, just we weren't sure what to do, and there are a lot of people joining in on our game session, which had to change the settings to that, so people don't just randomly pop in there. And the game is definitely made for co-op because in the cutscenes, if you play by yourself, if you go somewhere, there'll be the other characters that you can play as will be there with you, and every time you talk to somebody, they'll refer to you as like more than one person. So it's very strange. I played a little more extra missions last night, and it was just like that. Everyone just referring to you like there was more people with you, and like, no, it's just me. So that the game is definitely made for co-op, and it was a lot more fun to do with co-op. So yeah, we got the two videos there, and I think there's more to it, but Dr. J is gonna probably be posting those up. I was just there to do some co-op with him, and it was fun. Early on, it was tough. I was like, early on, I regretted purchasing it. I was like, oh, this is terrible. And then it picked up like an hour in, and we had a blast. It just once we found our first car to drive, we just were mowing over zombies, and then we just drove our van into like a pool, and then like, oh, we just got it stuck, and we were just doing some other extra missions. It definitely picked up after an hour, so it was a lot of fun doing that.
Well, excellent, man. It definitely sounds like a game where to get the most out of it, you need to have you need to have good co-op partners online, and just gathering all together so you can have some fun times. Like with definitely with it sounds like from the car that you can have a good time if you like have a buddy of yours, and just try to have and enjoy the ride of just like causing as much mayhem on the island as possible.
Most definitely, it's the one of those games that a lot more fun with others than by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It is, but so yeah, you could check that out on his channel there, Video Game Spaz, with SPAZZ on YouTube. So I'll put the videos on the show notes so you can watch the first two there.
Well, excellent. There's I did subscribe to him, so I'm definitely looking forward to more of more amazing videos with Video Game Spaz and you and Dr. J having a good time. And I you know what, as surprising as it may be, I like that kind of zombie game, or just like even like the genre I'm not exactly happy with, or exactly enthralled with. Like right now, just like I'm a little bit tired of zombies. But if you throw anything in a co-op setting, in like an open world setting, or in some sort of setting where you can have shenanigans and fun times, and basically an open world setting, a co-op open world setting for multiplayer or what have you, then for some reason it just becomes so much more engrossing because you can pretty much do anything that your imagination sets itself up to.
It could definitely make a pretty mediocre game a bit more fun and entertaining to play if you're having someone there to goof around with, and that's certainly something that I could have used for a little bit for some other games in the past. that definitely had co-op in mind. But yeah, it's not too bad once you get used to the controls and how everything works there. And yeah, you can get a lot of zombies coming at you, and you just better to just run away than getting killed by a bunch of group of zombies there.
Mm-hmm.
It is
It seems like
it's cool.
I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. I mean the stamina thing is there to kind of give you kind of equal balance against the zombies. If you use your stamina too much, you could probably get knocked down by one of the zombies. And there's just a lot of those type of kind of RPG elements. You get skill trees and stuff like that. It'll make you better at doing like certain specific things like blunt objects. You probably get more damage on if you choose that route, or some regenerating health and things like that. And then it's always a lot of like items laying around that you can consume, like snacks and energy drinks to get your health back up. And I'm at the point of the story where you'll end up fighting against other humans that are like taking over a grocery store, and you're trying to get some items for your people that are in aren't on the other side of the island, just are there, just have their own safe house there. And it's just a bunch of people you can talk to, do some side missions and stuff like that. It's a decent game once you get past all the little glitches and flaws, and definitely have some co-op going on. It's rather entertaining.
Well, sweet.
Sweet.
Sweet indeed. What would you like to see in a co-op open world game?
That's a good question there. I certainly like to see just a variety of things to do, most definitely, and probably pretty good. I guess pretty good polish on the game as well. That could be definitely a big help there. I guess a lot of just like network side of it, but like just not having the game drop out on you. And that's what happened a couple of times when we were doing the Dead Island thing. We just kept getting dropped. Like I don't know if it was either one of us or the servers, and we didn't even think about it if it was the servers. Like, hey, it might be the servers. And
Might be Belkin.
might be
Who knows?
Belkin. Yeah, I saw that, but you know what? I think it might be one of those things where it just I guess depends on who you're playing with. It could definitely make a good game a lot of fun, a lot more fun. And that's what I got out of with the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. Just playing with others and shooting up some aliens there.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say one of the interesting things about the Dead Island, the co-op thing. I mean, if you can kind of either join the person you're gonna play with's co-op or their co-op, and if they end up losing signal or dropping off, the game still continues. It's not like other games like the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. If the whole group drops off, and then the game's kind of over because everyone's gone, you can't continue. But with the Dead Island, you can still keep going. Like he wasn't there, it just drops off at your game session, but you still can keep continuing on. It just says that he just disconnected. But I kind of like that aspect of it, and not just kind of putting a complete halt into your game once someone gets dropped off for some weird reason.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean that is a nice feature when because you never know if somebody needs to leave immediately or
yeah, things like that. And it's cool because you could pause the game and the other person that's with you can still continue on, and I don't think the zombies do anything to you because you're on pause, so I don't think they attack you. It's just on pause there. It's interesting that they do that, because in some games you just can't pause at all, and sometimes you have to step away from your gaming console for at least a minute or two, and sometimes you can't do that with some multiplayers because you just get killed right away if you just step away from it when you come back. That's one of the things there.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I would love to see an open world game that takes place entirely within the confines of a Bill Nye the Science Guy city. Just basically something like it would be like BioShock, where in terms like Bill Nye would create this massive utopia for science and fun. Something goes wrong, and then you have to deal with like argon experiments or trying to figure out how long ago the dinosaurs existed. And then you just have fun trying to stop the crazed madman of Bill Nye the Science Guy.
That sounds Game of the Year material to me.
Yes, indeed. And one of the mini-bosses would, of course, be Steven Seagal, where he's using the power of science, so he flies around in a jetpack powered by just a giant brain. And Jessica Chobot would be your voice in your ear, just like giving you helpful hints or whatnot. And like she's basically your Cortana. In fact, we'll just have her in the game and call her Cortana, but have no relation to the Halo's Cortana.
Chobot Tana. Yeah.
But speaking, so that's my idea for a new video game. Do not take it because I will be very sad if you do. And speaking of new developments and referencing Chobot, we have some new information to talk about in terms of G4, which is something that's pretty sad. And this channel's been on a downward slope for a couple of years now, with the loss of a lot of its own original programming, a lot of the people behind it, and to the point where even their original programming isn't supported by the channel anymore, and are instead just doing the 24-hour cops and cheaters marathon thing. Variety is reporting that G4 TV owners, NBC Universal, are going to have more of a GQ aesthetic for their channel, and trying to stay farther away from the tech and geek culture, and catering to the quote-unquote modern male. I don't know what the hell that means.
What the hell is GQ? What are they about?
Yeah, and it's so infuriatingly strange, just because G4 has. It's not only like it's not that like G4 hasn't been showing its face to like comic conventions or video game conventions, or had like representatives talk to people within the industry, or have a face in the industry, because they've been to Comic-Con, they've been to E3, they've been to the GDC, and Penny Arcade. I think they went represented themselves, and now it just seems like the people the NBC Universal don't know how to handle the program, the channel anymore, so they're just like doing whatever the hell they want. And also, what is this modern male crap that you're talking about? I would like to see them cater to the postmodern male. They're just nothing but shapes in a track pantsuit,
That's right.
That's right. That's right. Or maybe just like Andy Warhol's painting of a soup can, and that they're trying to cater to that audience. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they are, just because this makes just as much sense as the tomato soup can painting. And what is the point? It's obvious that this isn't a move that's going to be good at all. Where, I mean, I remember they're just trying to be Spike TV 2.0, if that 2.0 was preceded by a negative, where there's just nothing good about this move. I mean, there's barely anybody left on the channel worth watching now who are personalities. Like I know, is Kevin Pereira still there? I don't know.
No, he left.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, like, he's gone. Olivia Munn's gone. Adam Sessler's gone. Tina Wood, Laura Foy, they're gone. Victor Lucas and Tommy Tallarico. Well, Tallarico's moved on to composing for Video Games Live, and Victor Lucas is like his show, which is reviews on the Run and the Electric Playground, which did show on G4, are not a part of the channel anymore. And then you have Jeff Knightley and Scott Rubin, and just like all these people who were with the channel originally are now gone. There's only like, I would say the only one who I can really think of at the top of my head is Morgan Webb, who's still the big personality that they have there, and even she's not enough of a draw for me to stay with the channel anymore.
No, I haven't watched G4 in months.
Yeah, and they keep making these really strange and idiotic moves, like canceling feedback when it was like an online show that had no bearing on their channel time. They had no bearing on their show times for their channel. That makes no sense. Attack of the Show, which is, it's Attack of the Show, so what are you going to do, really? It's there. And then Blair Butler for Fresh Ink, maybe. And I'm not a comic book person, so it's not really a draw for me. Damn it, it doesn't even resemble itself anymore. It's... No. Gosh, and the thing is, like, there are the stations now, channels these days, basic cable, or even the big cable stations. Like they're the ones who try to at least find a good demographic and stay with it. With this one, it just feels like they're throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. It's like, at first they tried to be like Spike in the fact that it's like, oh yeah, we'll have these kick-ass shows and cars and whatnot, and it'll be awesome. Or go for the Comedy Central, really really low, very blue collar jokes, and that's where they had like Code Monkeys, which was a decent show. I liked it. It was good. And then they just like, we won't support it. We don't do anything about it. And it feels like everybody on that channel is struggling to actually make it a channel, in spite of the fact that the higher ups have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, they're also going to change the name of the channel too, right? That's going to happen.
I have no idea.
Yeah, this is going to be like a complete kind of rebranding and overhaul of the whole thing, like early next year. So, by the way that they're talking about just changing the whole feel of the show, the channel, it seems like it's like you might not even see any of the original people on that were on this channel, or the ones that are currently on there anymore. I don't even know what's going to happen to the website, the people who work on the website. That's probably the only one of the only things I do check out is the website for some kind of news and little things here and there, but that's really all about it. And with feedback gone, I think that's probably one of the things that was one of the signs there that the channel was going downhill.
Yeah.
Feedback, and early on, Olivia Munn leaving, and
I feel it was probably during a little bit beforehand, just with the Tech TV G4 merger, where they got rid of a lot of programming, and just like little by either getting rid of a personality or getting rid of or getting rid of shows that that were staple marks of the channels, like Cinematheque or Arena, or Judgment Day, which was the reviews on the Run show, or just like all these little shows that didn't look like, or G4.com, the show, and it just seemed like they didn't really. They're just trying to get as much get the largest demographic as possible, but they don't realize that in order to have a stable image for people to gravitate towards. This is the first time I've ever really seen it where a channel's completely lost its just went from it where it tried to be more hip, where by the side I don't fucking know why they ever even thought about doing that, because it's stupid. And then putting on wrestling or anime-centered shows or stuff like that, where it's not exactly completely science fiction related, but at least it still had fiction stuff on it, or original programming that it keeps on supporting. Like they have Warehouse 13 or Rico or some of the other shows that they had on there. But I don't ever, but not like to this extent.
No, it's getting pretty bad now, and the personalities are all well and dandy, but I think one of the biggest problems with the channel, I think even from the early on, and maybe not early on, but maybe to like the middle till now, it's just there's not enough original programming. Since they got rid of those shows you mentioned, like Code Monkeys and other things like that, there's not been anything else really worth tuning into but those two shows at times. And I don't even think those are enough to even for me, sustain viewership on the channel overall. It's just not. I think there just needs to be more original programming that appeals to the demographic that they're going for on the channel. Which nowadays they don't even know what they want out of the channel. What it just seems like this. Even on the website, there's not any kind of original stuff on there anymore. I mean, remember when they used to do like those web videos on G4.com? Like, I love those Splinter Cell videos they did with like Bob and Steve.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then like the Master Chief stuff and some stuff with like video game characters. Like they did like a blind date with like some video game characters like Kratos was on a blind date with some chick.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of that was X-Play. A lot of it was like X-Play skits that they either really continued to use or they had their own original programming or their original web videos that they had. Like there was one like one of the E3s where it was like representatives from like Sony. It was like Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, where they had like different characters show up and like the like kind of business representatives that they had. There was like a business representative and then two characters from that studio. Like I think but Nintendo had like Mario and Link, and Sony had two of its own. And then for Microsoft, like you just see the Master Chief shows up and the business guy just looks at him and goes, "Yeah, it's just me."
Yeah, things like that were just awesome to watch, and yeah, most of those came out of the X-Play stuff, and that was awesome. And they did those skits, and it always seemed that channel never had a high enough budget. Maybe that's why they never had any other more original programming. And I think when they tried to do it with that one show with Chobot and Ryan Dunn, and then Ryan Dunn ended up biting the dust, that kind of just put a nail on the coffin on that show.
Yeah, literally and figuratively. Where there was, I mean, Ryan Dunn's passing was pretty sad, but also I think people really, anyway, I was criticizing it anyway, just because it was such a blatant copy off of Rooster Teeth's Immersion series, where they would take ideas of video game concepts that were in video games, like for instance, carrying all these weapons through like a first-person shooter, where it's like, how would that actually work? Eating food to recover stamina, and I guess I got really suggest watching that video on their YouTube page, just because it's like two of the guys, Jeff and Gus, who like went out drinking the previous night and got hammered drunk, are like woken up at 4 o'clock in the morning with enormous hangovers to eat all like this entire buffet of food. Is just it's just hilarious. But whatever the series was on G4 that had Jessica Chobot and Dunn, it was pretty similar to the point of it. I wouldn't be surprised if Rooster Teeth filed a cease and desist order if they really wanted to, but that didn't really pan out. I mean, they had there was like a G4 investigative side where it's like Morgan Webb was kind of like a host of a 60 Minutes-esque show where they would go into different kind of like modern things, like spelunkers going through like parts of or like urban spelunkers where they go to like parts of cities that have been condemned and like nobody lives there and they just want to go down there to explore, or steampunk culture, or people who make like murals out of butter or stuff like that, like very weird and interesting stuff. And it was enjoyable, but it obviously wasn't kind of like a huge thing. But I can't imagine it costing that much money.
I don't think it does either. It's just that it just felt, from just the way the whole channel is structured, it just seems like they don't have a good budget to do more original programming. It just seems to me that that's probably the case. I don't know. That's just what I got out of it. But I think that's one of the big issues with the channel. It needs more original programming with that. Either it could be anything. You and I just threw things on the wall that could work, that will fulfill that channel block. Instead of getting rid of the Cops and Cheaters reruns, which I'm sure people who watch those are going to be disappointed in. But the ideas you and I have on putting on original programming for that channel could have easily has sustained that channel for for now.
Are you kidding me? I would have just stayed out if I was the president of G4. If I was a CEO in charge of, if I was the big cheese, the head honcho,
Oh
the
man,
numero uno, the maestro de facto, if you will, of G4. I'm trying to think of more, but I can't. So if you have any more suggestions on what another name for boss is, please
El
send
Jefe.
it to Bloody Thumbs Podcast.
El Jefe.
El Jefe, yeah. But it was that's a good one. Damn, I thought.
No, I mean
but anyway,
something like
if I was in charge of G4, I am just I would go out with like a card. I would just like film. I would do like what Krusty did when TV was put off the air, and just like talk in front of a camera for 20 hours straight, and just like make up stuff, talk about whatever's on my mind, or just do something that would be a lot more video game related than whatever a G4 is doing right now. I'd like get 2 cameras, film skits, have discussions with people on the street, get people just to come in to talk about their lives or whatever, or their views on video games right now. And it would have to be better than at least what G4 is doing. I went on to G4TV.com, the website, for just to look to see what it looks like right now, because I haven't visited the website in a while. And the first thing that pops up is an ad for 4 hours of Heroes every Tuesday. It's like, wow, you guys are so poor that you can't even afford a good show to rerun for 4 hours. Damn, I am so sorry for you.
Yeah, I got like things like that, original programming. I mean, we even suggested like some sort of type of, talk show. There's a lot of talk shows out right now, and I don't see why they couldn't do some sort of, I don't know, like an hour or 30-minute talk show with just about, when they talk about video games and just different topics or certain issues that are surrounding video games, and get different guests on every week and have someone host it. I don't see why they couldn't do something like that. I can't, like you said, just grab a camera and film over at the G4 Studios, and that's easily something that could be put on the schedule other than Cops and Cheaters.
It's just so weird. I have no idea why. Like, okay, like when I was watching the original G4, when they had G4 TV.com, the show, they had Arena, Cinematech, Icons. A lot of the stuff that they used was like for Cinematech. A lot of it was stock footage, or somebody just recording video games that they just played for about a half an hour, like with a theme, just like, okay, we're gonna watch a speed run of this guy going through Half-Life 1 for 30 minutes, or the best cutscenes featuring a lizard or something like that, or it was like stuff that could not cost that much money. Like if anything at all, it would probably save them money if they did that instead of trying to get the rights for Cops or Cheaters. It doesn't make any sense, and frankly, now that it seems like the channel's circling the drain right now, and I'm at least glad that it's ending like this and not limping anymore with people trying to, with the personalities behind the channel, trying to put on a good face for the cameras and pretend like nothing's wrong. But yeah,
it is what it is. What you said right there, I'd easily just tune in for 30 minutes to watch that. What you said, like the speed run of Half-Life or something like that, or cutscenes involving lizards. I'd easily watch that. Anything.
Yeah, or just like
other than Cheaters and Cops.
And we could also have sex appeal in that show, where we just gotta have like an episode where just like it's nothing but like cutscenes, but every voice is performed by Jessica Chobot, where even the men just like her just like talking to herself, where every line of dialogue is done by her. Like the entirety of Halo 3's cutscenes just done by Jessica Chobot. Oh, and Morgan Webb and Olivia Munn, if we want to. Just like throw them all in there and just have a grand old time. And then we'll just have one of just like cutscenes featuring characters, but whose heads have been photoshopped off with Steven Seagal.
See, things like that. I know we're kind of saying that as to be silly and as a joke, but that seriously is better than anything that's on that channel right now.
Absolutely.
I watch
totally. I mean,
Well, I'd watch
people,
Joe Bot do voice acting over characters and dubbing, or just have a 30-minute episode where we throw in different things or ideas through Twitter, and then we throw in something in front of Joe Bot and it's like, all right, pick that up and watch her bend down. All right, what else are we gonna throw at it?
or better, what if? Now I'm just throwing this out as well. What if we just had like cutscenes in video games or games that have create your own character customization options, and every single character is like from like Mass Effect, Saints Row, just like all these games that have create your own character ideas or setups going on. We all make them look like Samuel L. Jackson, so we see what Samuel L. Jackson looks like in every single other game, and see how closely we can get him to act like Samuel L. Jackson in the films, like yelling all the time, swearing like a mother, and just generally being awesome. Just like
Yes.
yeah, it's like going down the street in Saints Row, just in his underpants, swinging a massive purple dildo at people's faces. Like, God damn, get out of the way, I'm Samuel L. Jackson. Watch out for them snakes.
That's right. I mean, everything they've done, like those web skits and things like that from X Play, they could easily put together for a 30-minute show. The Bob and Steve stuff, they could easily. I would love to watch that a show like an episode every day on the adventures of those two Splinter Cells.
Yeah, or even like 5-minute skits where they have. Like during a commercial break or something like that, they could just like put like an episode, like a quick little mini-sode of Bob and Steve doing Splinter Cell stuff, or even better yet, why not just like have all your skits and then put them on a DVD and then sell that DVD to the audience, like once again, like what Rooster Teeth is doing with their shorts.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff they've done that could be this type of stuff that's being done on YouTube, and I think that's the way it is now. I mean, all the kind of very short and very funny stuff like the skits X-Play has done, and just other programming that has been put out for G4. It's just all available that are sort of similar to that, or even just different or better online that you could watch on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So all that entertainment, it's on there. So I mean, I guess maybe it's that one of those things of the times where you get better entertainment and just all up to date news, video game news on the web, really, and shows like the Destructoid show could easily be something I would watch on the old YouTube every day instead of on television.
Yeah, I mean, G4 was part of me growing up as a high schooler, where I just like sit down and tune into crazy video game talk shows, and usually I'd get home just like right as G4TV.com the show was going on, and I actually really liked it just because it was three people of the video game industry talking about just what's going on, and they would take in people's call-in questions, and and they'd have like a live before Twitter was even going on, kind of a Twitter-esque feed going on, like just giving some people's comments on the bottom of the screen, and they would sometimes have skits, and they would have guest stars, and one of my favorite episodes ever was just Laura Foy, Tina Wood, Victor Lucas, and Tommy Tallarico going at each other, just having a great time. And they had like a dunk. They had a baseball throwing dunk a person in the water sort of game going on, where they had like people would throw the ball, the bullseye, and then they would people would be sitting above the water, and if you hit the bullseye, then they dropped into the water. And damn it, that was just a funny episode, just because Victor Lucas was just like rolling his eyes every time Tommy did something crazy. Like Tommy had like his own rip away stripper pants on, like when he was doing one of the events, and everyone was just like, "Oh, that Tommy, he's such a rapscallious little scamp." Yeah. But anyway, just like the programming on nowadays, like I would love to start up just even like some stuff on our own website, where just like get people together to get to do skits, not always even video game related, just like have skits on there, or have skits where people are doing things that would be entertaining for our audience, instead of just like, oh, I don't know, let's do like a fashion shoot of the GQ models, because apparently we're not doing well with our ratings. So we're not doing well with our ratings. Let's completely try to flip our demographic around. Where I don't even recall, like, I don't think, like, if it was Cartoon Network, like if they were doing bad with their ratings for cartoons, it's like, I know, let's put on horror films at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's like, I don't think you understand what your channel's supposed to be about.
It's all over the place. Yeah, I can't wait to see when the channel is completely done. Is the montages on YouTube, like from the very beginning to like to like the end, and have like the RIP. I just find that a bit funny by the end of that, but there are definitely, if someone probably is a big fan of the channel, as we kind of used to be, we'll probably put some clips of the best moments of the early like the Tech TV and early G4 with all those X-Play skits, and Adam Sessler going up against Jack Thompson.
Oh my gosh, that was just part of my childhood, where it's like, oh yeah, you just been body slammed by Adam Sessler, and he just like walking around the arenas going, yeah, what you got now? Because like that was I think one of the first times where Thompson actually got into a debate with somebody live who was actually from the entertainment industry of video games, instead of just like making statements and then having people react to them. And just Adam Sessler destroys him, absolutely, just blatantly, without even just a hint of hesitancy or uncertainty. It was so wonderful.
That was amazing. Amazing.
Yep. But sadly, that's not the case anymore, and I wouldn't be surprised if they hired Jack Thompson as a personality for the new G4, or should we call it the new GQ?
Oh man, that'd be a big stab in the back to Sessler there. When like, no, curses.
I'm pretty sure Sessler would come back just to torch down the building that they were filming at, just because he's that entitled to the idea, just because he's that dedicated to the idea of video games getting just as much of respect as anything else.
Yeah, burning down him just rubbing his Hugo Strange beard. Watching that burn down. But yeah, that is what it is. We want to talk a little bit about what's going on there with G4 and bring back some of the old G4 memories we had. So, could we consider this the early RIP for G4?
I mean, G4 has been on life support for a long time, where it's
time to pull the plug.
Yep, time to pull the plug and say goodbye. This is, I would say this is definitely. I'm sorry?
Mice a minute.
Yep. Let's pour a 40 on the corner and just say our goodbyes, and just realize that we will mourn and we'll remember, and we need to move on. Yeah. And look forward to the day where we can, where young black children and white children will play together, and then after playing, they'd go sit down and watch another great episode of Cinematech. I have a dream today where Adam Sessler would verbally pulverize Jack Thompson into the ground, while the next show that came on would be just a half hour of Samuel Jackson in video games.
You're giving me an idea. I'll just take what you said and make it sound like you were giving a speech like Martin Luther King.
I would be more than happy to record it, just because.
Free at last.
Free at last. They're free from NBC Universal, and they are free at last.
I have another idea there. I'm writing this down. For another bit we gotta write down here.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But it's sad to see such a once promising channel just succumb to higher ups not knowing how to handle it, and yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before done with a channel. So, uh, here to it. It will probably become another Spike TV. Although I did like some of the shows on Spike TV, I will say that Blue Mountain State was the best show they had on Spike TV, but that got canceled. I thought that was a good show. It's on Netflix. It's got like 4 stars on there, so I'm not lying. It's all right. It's not. It's the. I thought it had its very funny moments in it, and I thought it was pretty dumb. But that was the appeal of it for me. The whole college football show there, and then they have these moments where they'll focus on a character. It reminded me a lot like some shows that focused on some characters on each episode and had some pretty good comedy bits with them. So I don't know, that was just me, but if anyone is interested in checking it out, it's on Netflix, so it has all the episodes there. I don't know if they have the last season on there, but it was all right, I gotta say. And I did see other stuff on Netflix. I did see the movie. I did see Haywire on there. I thought it was okay. I didn't see the whole thing at the first time. Like one day I was like kind of tired and almost half asleep, and I like watched half of it. I was like, oh, I don't know if it was me or the movie, but I was like, oh, this is boring. I'm just gonna shut this off. And then the day after I watched it, I was like, it's all right. It's a decent, like a very basic action movie, but I thought that there were a lot of well shot scenes in the movie. I thought it was really well shot. And that's Steven Soderbergh, right?
Yep, and yeah, it's a spy movie, and yeah,
it was okay.
I liked it. It was nice. I liked some of the fight scenes and how visceral they really felt, just because they like the opening scene where we have it, where it's like a static camera. That it doesn't have any of that flashy editing or cinematography, like sweeping, just kind of like stationary. We're just watching these two people like struggle on the ground, and it definitely felt very violent and kind of, and not really glorifying, how sexy some fight scenes are, where it's like they punch, and it's not like the Batman Arkham City fighting. It's like I don't know, like, have you ever seen the episode of Arrested Development where Job and Michael get into a fight where it's like, it's not sexy at all. It's like Michael's trying to climb up a tree to get away from him, and Job's pulling him down. Just it's definitely not exactly the most, like, they're not graceful ballerinas. They seem like kind of like more heavy hitting, street fighting kind of stuff.
Yeah. The fights were well done, and like I said, the cinematography was pretty good. There were some really interesting shots in that flick. I thought that was pretty good. But I thought it was all right.
Yeah, it's a good
it's not
film.
Not one of best stuff. Not one of Soderbergh's best, but
nope. But it's nice. I like it just because it's nice. It's an okay spy film. It's got some interesting cinematography and atmospheric stuff. So like that, like it's definitely not one of the best in the series, and definitely not one of Soderbergh's best. But I like that he's experimenting with different categories, because he's done the thriller kind of crime films, like with the Ocean's movies, and then the pathogenic kind of horror films with what is it, Pandemic, the one with Matt Damon.
That one, and kind of gritty, grounded. I mean, grounded to reality, like Traffic stuff.
Yeah.
Traffic and A Girlfriend Experience. I did see that a while back. I don't remember what that was about.
Yeah, and
he's an eclectic director.
Yeah, and I love that he's trying to experiment as much as possible with kind of every single genre, or try to at least touch upon something that's different than what he's done before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did also see on Netflix God Bless America.
I haven't seen that one yet. What's that one about?
It stars Bill Murray's brother, Joel Murray. Plays a middle-aged man who's kind of fed up with the way American society is with like reality TV shows and glorifying, uh, bad behavior and things like that. He takes matters into his own hands and starts killing off reality stars and just people he finds repugnant with a teenage girl. Yeah, and I thought it was really good. I liked it a lot. That's the it has a good mix of like dramedy and some comedy in there too. Like there's like a one moment where he first kills like one of the reality stars, and they take upon a lot of like the what's on TV now, and boy does it it does make you think like, oh, this all this crap that's on TV, and just the way people are nowadays with no
Mm-hmm.
just bad behavior and things like that. And yeah, he was like he wasn't gonna blow up. It was gonna blow up like one of the like Sweet 16 girls' car, and he puts like a cloth into the gas tank, and then he lights up with a lighter, and then and there's a cool, funny scene where he's like walking away from the car in slow motion, and then he turns around, and then the cloth like flies away from the car because the air blew it off. Like, oh shit! And then he tries to pick it up, and it's just burning. And then he just shoots the girl. And then he just shoots the girl in the head and runs away.
Well, that definitely sounds something up my alley. Kind of like a single was like single white male, where it's just like no, it was what was that? What was that film where it was like a guy who's just kind of fed up with the world one day and just
It's like Falling Down, right?
yeah, falling down. Whereas it's kind of like that movie, kind of bit like social satire of Fight Club, that sort of thing. It does sound like a pretty interesting movie, so I'll put that to my queue.
It is, yeah. It's
By
like that.
queue, I mean Microsoft Word document that I've got up here.
Oh yeah, so they don't have Netflix over there, right?
Yep. Not yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's worth checking out. I thought it was pretty good. Some good performances there, and I thought the girl was good, and there's like a lot of references to like to movies and things like that. I thought it was pretty good, and yeah, it's just like the social satire on what's going on now, and just how all that just clicked with me. I wouldn't go as far as shooting up people because I think they're assholes, but I can see where he's coming from.
Oh yeah, I mean this day and age where we glorify people for acting like children or having behavior that is socially unacceptable, but we entertain it for some reason. And I'm talking about reality TV shows, although I'm not a big fan of kind of the Danny McBrides and Will Ferrells of men acting like children of varying ages, and not like actual adults. But that aside, I'm more about the reality TV show stars where they do nothing but drink, have sex, swear, don't try to make themselves any more intelligent. They don't even go near books. They don't talk about anything important. They just like do stupid game show-esque things and just yell at each other and throw vases against the walls. And it's just, why are we encouraging this behavior? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, all that gets touched upon in the movie, and in his character, Joel Murray's character is like in the office, and he's talking to like one of the coworkers. It's like, doesn't everyone talk about anything other than what they see on TV? Don't they have anything to say? And just a great scene there. And then he gets fired because there was this coworker he had that he was very nice to. He didn't do anything really inappropriate with. He just like send her flowers, and then like he got in trouble because it was like sexual harassment or something like that. Because he sent flowers to her because she wasn't feeling good that day. It's like, that pissed me off so much. It's like just the things that they consider sexual harassment and all that HR bullshit that goes on there. It's like, that was a good scene. So yeah, it's like that. It's like the Falling Down. I don't know if Falling Down had hints of comedy in it. That was more serious on that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Falling Down. Yeah, it was definitely serious, but it was also kind of a black comedy where it's like this man just going crazy, or maybe a little bit like Network, where it's like the crazy news. Well, not crazy, but just like really impassioned news anchor who's kind of fed up with the world and what's going on right now, and just. He's like he's just he like the network's just using him just because he gets viewings for his rants, but yeah, like he's obviously going through kind of some sort of crisis of his own identity.
Like Sessler's soapbox.
Like Sessler's soapbox, like his crazy beard.
But yeah, you gotta when you get the chance, that's worth checking out. Actually, I had a pretty good end to it, and yeah, it's what they call a dramedy there, CH.
Well, excellent, because it has parts of drama and comedy.
That's a good blend of both.
Excellent, excellent.
Best of both worlds. So recommend checking that out. God bless America.
God bless America. Yeah. And also, I have to apologize to all of our viewers last week for getting Metal Gear Ground Zeroes completely wrong in terms of what it is. It is not a reboot, as I thought it was, but that's what you get when video game outlets describe the game to you and don't even want to even include the fact that it looks like it's taking place after Peace Walker with Big Boss, not Solid Snake. As when they just say Snake, you assume Solid Snake because that's kind of the main character of the series. Where they meant Naked Snake, Big Boss. So I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for getting that wrong. It does not look like it looks like a sequel to the Big Boss games, and it's also a open world game. So yes, sorry about getting that wrong. And I gotta say, wow, that Fox engine looks incredible, and the amount of detail that's in everything, and just I'm blown away. I'm surprised they could get everything that amazingly beautiful.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing there. I don't know if it's even, I don't know. It doesn't look like a current gen game. It definitely looks like something for the next gen, and I'm sure that they were running that on a high-end PC there. I don't know. I can't see it running on the 360. I don't know. I just me. I'm sure it probably will come out for that. I don't know when. I think I got it right too. I think I got it right last week. I said it was Big Boss because he had an eye patch in that picture.
Yeah. It was It does look like Big Boss because he has a eye patch. It looks like kind of 80s, 70s era tech, and it definitely does. It definitely looks like it's more involved in kind of like the Soviet era, and they reference characters in there that are part of the Big Boss lineage of characters in there, rather than where I thought it's my mistake entirely, just because I was stupid and didn't really wait for the video to come out before looking about this.
Yeah, it happens. I didn't notice that when I was watching the video. They mentioned they mentioned some characters from Peace Walker. Like, yeah, this has got to be taking place during that or after that. So it looks. I mean, I can't say too much about it because that's all we've seen. It looks, like a Metal Gear Solid game. So, I'm down for that. After playing 2 and 3. Yeah, I was going to say something else.
Peace Walker, yeah.
I didn't finish Peace Walker yet. I got stuck on that tank level. Oh.
Yeah, that one's definitely hard. I would just. Well, it took me about 20 tries before realizing, like, oh yeah, I just need to build up my forces and weaponry before trying to take on the tank.
That's probably what I have to do, but yeah, I probably won't finish that.
Mm-hmm. I just hope it's not as this Ground Zeroes is not as convoluted as Metal Gear Solid 2 or Metal Gear Solid 4, just because there's just so much history. It's impossible to enjoy both those games just because with Metal Gear Solid 4, you need to have a pretty good understanding of the universe that's going on, or else you're just going to be lost. And with Metal Gear Solid 2, it's Metal Gear Solid 2. It is one of the most confusing video games I've ever played.
Yeah, a lot of mind fucking moments in that one.
Mm-hmm. Without even a condom.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So we got
I'm sorry.
And just Easter egg that you don't even know about until you look online. There's that moment in 3 where if when you're in that prison cell, you can pause the game or something like that, and then like save that moment and then start it up from the beginning. And once you load to that game, it's like this whole new kind of
Yeah,
game
yeah.
mode going on there, something like that.
Yeah, they developed that like game section just for the Easter egg of Metal Gear Solid 3, where it's like you're a vampire hunter and just like chopping up like steroid-addled vampires, and it looks so it looks like a completely different game. But then it's like Snake wakes up, it's like, oh man, I just had a really bad nightmare.
Yeah, things like that. It's cool, but I didn't get to experience it. I just found that out when I was looking it up on the old YouTube there, just the Easter eggs of Metal Gear Solid 3. So things like that he always throws in there, so it's cool to try to figure out what's in there that it could be an Easter egg. So that's Metal Gear Solid for you. But from what I played of Peace Walker, everything seemed pretty on a straight and narrow with the storyline. It didn't seem like it went too out there like the 2 or 3 did. Not 3 was pretty for the most part. Not as convoluted as you say 4.
Yeah, well, 3 is it's the kind of beginning of the franchise, and so it's its own story. There's not a lot of backstory that you need. Some of the connections to the other games are pretty negligible until the very end, where it's kind of like, oh, hint, hint, this is kind of where this is going, and oh, okay, I got you. But yeah, with 3, it's a pretty good It's a standalone. It's a great standalone story where you don't even need to play any of the other ones to completely enjoy this one. And I still think that 3's the. Well, I'm kind of torn between whether I like 3 or Peace Walker more, but I'd probably have to go with 3 as my favorite.
Yeah, I'd say that too. 3 is pretty good. I can't say much for Peace Walkers. I'm stuck on that part.
Yeah, people say like that Peace Walkers is usually the best one, but I find it that I really like the camouflage system in 3 and just the story in that one, because it was really good.
Yeah, that too. I like the story in that, and just the beginning got me psyched for playing that again. Just thinking about the beginning, the opening for that, just makes me want to play it again. So.
What a thrill!
What a thrill! Or maybe not. There were some moments where I was like, ah, got pissed off.
They're just, it's just so wonderful to have all those moments in the Metal Gear games where there's just such weird things going on. Like, well, where to even start? There's a moment like in Metal Gear Solid 3 where you're climbing up a ladder to like a much higher elevation, like through a mountain.
Yeah.
It's just playing the Metal Gear Solid 3 theme song.
And it took like 3 minutes to get up there.
Any other developer would have just like had like you start climbing up, and then
loading screen or cutscene.
or something like that. And then, but it's like Kojima's like, no, you're gonna climb all the way up, and then and then hear the theme song while you're doing it.
I didn't mind it. I just thought it was weird.
No, definitely. There's just weird moments like the fact that during the end sniper battle, which is one of the best boss battles I've ever had, where it's you are in a giant forest with 3 different areas where you're fighting against the end in a sniper battle. So it's all about stealth and sniping at him when you have the opportunity to. But if you save it and then like have your internal clock go for like 2 months in advance, and then you load it up again, like the end had died from old age, or the moment where you could actually, a lot of them actually involve the end where you could snipe him in the head from like or an earlier part in the game before he's wheeled away, and so you don't have to fight him there. And it's like just little things like that, just like they're so weird, but they're so perfectly Hideo Kojima-esque, where they're just like you would definitely need to be either crazy or creative for these ideas.
Yeah, things like that. It's just so different and unique. You don't see that in any other games besides Metal Gear. It's one of those things that makes you want to play it again, just to see that outcome. I had no idea that you could even do that until I talked about it with someone I knew that played it beforehand. That's a big fan of the games and has played it a lot of times, and told me that you can kill the end early on with the sniper, and then or just do that with the internal clock. So you would just say that you'd save the game there and then come back to it 2 months later, you just die. That's funny.
Or like the fact that like if you go into first person mode, you could see like what was it, the sorrow, just like holding up like signs that are supposed to help you, like codes to get out of like prison cells, or
Oh yeah, I
how
did see
long
that.
until a bomb's supposed to detonate. It's just so weird, and like there's no narrative explanation whatsoever for him helping you. It just is happening, and you
Yeah.
just assume that like there's a good point to this, but it never explicitly says why.
No, it doesn't. Just doing the first person view on Ava's chest as well is all well and dandy.
Yeah, or the fact that like if you you could look into like if you look into her like history of injuries that she's had to recover from, or from from any basically for the first person, not the first person, the first aid sort of station, you could see like she had a breast enlargements, or there's like one where Snake had like he had to get like some like invasive surgery on his kidney or something like that. Like very very cool little touches like that, which really help flesh out the universe. And also you could spin Snake around in the first aid mode, and when you exit out of it, he can just throw up because he's sick.
Yeah, that's spinning. Damn.
But yeah, it's just Hideo Kojima, once again, I'm looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to it coming out in the 360. But I don't really know much about it besides that. So yeah, looking forward.
Oh, yeah, same here. Just that 10-minute footage you've shown me, and that's got me psyched enough to see where they go from there. Just kind of the open world Metal Gear Solid game. We'll see how it goes. I think there's a lot of fun to be had once that comes out.
Oh yeah,
I can't wait. So
yeah, and
what else we got here? 'Cause I've been looking through.
Touching on a few things. I don't know if we mentioned this the last time around, but Ubisoft is changing its always-on DRM policy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So instead of it seems to be that they've heard fan feedback, and they will be discontinuing their DRM services for their future games. I don't know if it's going to be retroactive as well, but it everything since then to current practice, everything game going forward based on the policy. The only games that came before that are being switched over to that policy. So yeah, it looks like everything is going over to that DRM free practice, and
Hoorah!
yeah, and they have acknowledged that originally it was much more of the stick approach. Now it's much more of the carrot. So it looks like that they heard feedback, and yeah, so now they're making a change for the better, and I hope the industry kind of moves in that direction as well. Hint, EA.
Yes, we'll see how their sales go after that announcement there.
Yep,
There's no DRM there. Which it should be like that all the time. There's no reason for you to be online all the time while playing a game unless you're playing multiplayer.
Yeah, or like for instance, Assassin's Creed 3 single player. Why do you need to be logged into a Ubisoft server? I just don't get that.
No, there's no logical reason to do that, really.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's strange, and there's no point to it.
It is what it is. So I'm glad that they've changed their attitude towards that, and we'll see what how their games go out in the future. I mean, they've got a pretty good lineup of stuff already. I think they were pretty the standout company at E3. I think they had good stuff to show there, and all the deals they got with the Nintendo on the Wii U if it does become a hit. So they definitely got things going on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I think this is a very good sign that a big studio such as Ubisoft is moving away from DRM and acknowledging that people are just generally not happy with it. So, yeah, it definitely looks like a change for the better, and I hope more companies take to heart this continuation.
Exactly. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did try out the core, I believe it was the core online thing that Square Enix has, where you could play games on your browser. I did play one mission of Hitman Blood Money, which is the very beginning of Hitman Blood Money, which is a little kind of it's kind of like a tutorial level just to get you used to the mechanics and the gameplay of Hitman Blood Money, but it worked. I played it on my Windows my Windows machine, and it ran pretty well. When I tried to full screen it, it was a little the frames were a little slower, but if you play it when it's not in full screen, for me, it ran pretty well. So I didn't get too far into it to see how it works, and doing the watching the advertisements and to play the other levels. I don't know how I didn't get that far into it, but you could. The prices on each level are like 98 cents or something like that a level, and I think there's like 17 something levels in that game. So you could, if you wanted to avoid the ads, you could pay to play all those levels on your browser. So I think it's a pretty interesting way to play your games online. That rather than having to download the whole game on your PC, you could play it right on your browser. It only took a couple minutes to set up there and to load up, but by God, it works, CH. By God.
Excellent. Well, free at last. You're free to play some games after watching some advertisements. You are free at last.
It's an interesting thing. Let's see what's to come of it in the future. I think this is I think it's an interesting step in how you play your games on your browser. I know there's some games you can play on your browser already. I think some free to play stuff you can play right on your browser. So I haven't. I just found that was a different interesting thing that they did there for the PC crowd right on the browser there.
That's fantastic, and that looks like a new kind of viable way of playing games for the future, and that definitely sounds a lot better than some of the alternatives of DRM or locking content off of the disk or any of these crazy practices going on nowadays. So this definitely sounds like a good step in a good direction.
Yeah, I think there are different situations where you probably aren't able to download the whole game on your machine. Maybe you don't have enough hard drive space, or you don't have a good enough internet connection, and you don't want to wait 3 days to download a game.
Very, very true.
That could be one of the reasons why you could use that to play it right on your browser. I don't know what the specifications are in terms of internet connection or graphics card on that, but it ran pretty well on mine, and it's pretty smoothly. So it doesn't hurt to play a nice level of Hitman Blood Money on there anyway. So it was win-win for me.
Excellent.
Fantastic game.
Mm-hmm. Definitely looking forward to, speaking of Hitman, still looking forward to Absolution coming out.
Yes.
Yes! Good times.
Yeah, we're like a month away from Assassin's Creed 3 and then Hitman Absolution. So, got Borderlands 2 also coming out this month as well. I haven't played the first one, so I do like the cell shading. I will say that from the commercials I've seen, it's certainly a different change of pace in terms of presentation in the games. I know that cell shading has been done before, but it's certainly, for first-person shooters, it's certainly a nice thing to see rather than the kind of the washed-out gray look in most first-person shooters. It's time to kind of mix up a bit, add more color to your games. Isn't that why we have HDMI and HD console, so we can get all these lovely colors on your television screen? Just think about it. Once we get the Wii U on there and some Super Mario games, it would be absolutely fantastic to play some Mario games in HD.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, it's funny as some critics have pointed out that it seems to be just this big contrast because HD was made for having these beautiful colors, and just like having games like Enslaved: Odyssey to the West, or the 2008 Prince of Persia reboot, or basically like Super Mario games, or all these games that have like lots of color and lush environments, and just springing to life with every sort of color you could think of. And then what was popular this generation was kind of the gritty brown and steel gray color scheme of like Gears of War or Grand Theft Auto 4 or Fallout, where they worked for those games, not
Right.
Grand Theft Auto 4, just because I hate that freaking game. It's stupid.
I
What were we talking about? Yeah.
I like how we have a different change of opinion about that game after it's come out. I think at first you and I were kind of really digging it when it first came out that week, and then after like a year or a couple of months after, we just kind of like, it's all right. I like playing it, but it's a lot of moments where I just don't want to play it.
Yeah. And now it's just basically like me like stabbing a picture of Nico Bellic on the wall, just like throwing knives and using him at like target range shooting, or just the game. Let me just a little aside here. It takes me like for Grand Theft Auto 4. Not only have I kind of grown into a different direction than what I originally liked, but also just in comparison at that time with other open world games, I thought it was, a good game, but I kind of look at it over time, and I'm just not really a fan of it anymore. And just looking that the dialogue is pretty bad. I didn't like the story direction and kind of the world that took place in. And since then there have been so many other open world games that have been just so much better. Saints Row the Third is, the comical side of Grand Theft Auto taken to its perfect sort of evolution, where the comedy can be both crass and vulgar, but also there are these moments, these genius moments of incredibly brilliant humor and satire of the actual game itself. And I love the characters in that more than any character in Grand Theft Auto 4. And then you have the other side, which is like Mafia 2 or Sleeping Dogs, where you have kind of more serious storylines with a kind of a serious world, and you're given a storyline where you're in a very somber storyline they have to go through. And because you have those, you now have the two aspects of Grand Theft Auto done incredibly well. Them kind of doing it half-assed them try to combine those two where it doesn't really work in their new Grand Theft Auto games. It still does not work, and so it took me a while to kind of see that. And after I've done a lot more research and studying into storytelling and just general medium analysis, now I can see a little bit more that I was a little bit premature in my exalted likingness of Grand Theft Auto, of GTA 4. Yeah.
We've grown up, CH.
Yep, growing on up to the east side. Free at last of Grand Theft Auto 4's negative influences upon my mind.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So, the only other thing that I could really say is that Steam is now for people submitting for the opportunity for the Steam Marketplace. You could have uploaded your game, or you have the opportunity to become part of the Steam Marketplace before, but now Steam is requiring that you pay $100 for the opportunity to do so. It's a chance, not a guarantee, and it's some people are having criticism. But Valve has said there are a lot of legitimate submissions that people want to see. There is unfortunately a significant amount of noise and clutter being submitted, either as a joke or by fans not fully understanding the purpose of Greenlight. And it's come after a series of problems, like people having joke submissions, or having games up there like Half-Life 3 when it isn't up there. So this will kind of weed out some serious developers from the people who are just joking around.
Sounds like something that would happen, so this might be something that they are trying to minimize by doing that. by doing the $100 fee for that.
Mhm.
So yeah, if you're that hell bent on putting on a joke, then spending $100 to get it up on the Steam there, and by all means, if you're gonna do that.
I mean, that's a very expensive practical joke there.
Yes, and have it not work. So, yeah,
It's I mean, and I like the fact that they now have to be financially committed to the project if you want to be submitted. But that being said, there might be some developers who are doing this on a shoestring budget who can't afford that. And
right.
I don't know. I have a little bit of mixed feelings on this, but I feel like the fact that this is trying to weed out more jokey submissions or submissions that aren't to be taken as seriously as some developers who genuinely want to get their product out to people to purchase and enjoy.
That's right. I'm mixed on that too. It's certainly something that I could understand them doing just to weed out that problem that they're having with some joke submissions, and I mean, and also like you said, just the ones that don't have the budget for it can easily miss out on an opportunity there by not being able to throw in the $100 up there to get their games to probably have some success or some way to get on the feed on the I was about to say feed the Steam marketplace.
Right.
Well, I think that's why you have moderators for that to weed out all that stuff.
Yeah, but then again, Steam is incredibly popular, so maybe not all the moderators can look at every single submission within just maybe even a day or even a week. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things where I think it's definitely gonna be a lot more beneficial than maybe not. But once again, it is kind of a hard line to walk in terms of supporting it, just because there's some interesting things that are going on, and just I don't know. I think it's a good move overall, but I can definitely see why some people would be irritated that people who generally want to get their game out there who maybe can't afford to it. I think it does more good than harm.
No, I'm the same boat as you. That's just a lot of assholes online. So I can see why they're doing this just to get rid of all that clutter there and make room for the serious developers that are committed to getting their work on there and getting an opportunity to get into the gaming business and gaming industry.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they got that's why they have that in what is that the Kickstarter.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They gotta be really committed to get up on there.
Absolutely.
That's why we're gonna kickstart. This is my announcement. Kickstart some stuff for Blade Thumbs.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's all I have on this end of the news over here. So, yeah.
Yes. Oh crap! I forgot what I was gonna say. Damn it! I think I might have a stage.
Damn it. Steam. It's Kickstarter. Kickstarter to help.
Yes.
CH Gorog get drunk.
Yes, Kickstarter for the first. Once we reach our milestone of $1 million, we'll definitely put that towards our Bloody Thumb shirts and ship it out to everybody who gave us $1 million.
It's like we could do that thing that they did for Gears of War, where it's like they had save Carmine and let Carmine die. It would be like save Gorog's liver or let Gorog's liver die.
Yes, we'll see people's true colors once this goes up here at Kickstarter. God damn, Kickstarter. Anyways, yes. Other than that, we do. I didn't want to bring it up initially, but I'm just gonna mention it anyway. I did send you the link a while today. Was it today? No, through the Spill. We were messaging each other through there. To the I did the newer Bloody Thumb shirt designs, and to my own surprise, I haven't logged into the that website we put in beforehand, where we first initially sent out our first Bloody Thumb shirt a while back, and yeah, I've been logged in there for like 300 days. So once I got back on there, I uploaded the newer artwork from Dranson and put up some shirts and some other type of the designs on there. So
excellent.
like buttons, I think I got buttons on there. I don't know. I don't know if they changed some things, like, because I can't put like the picture like around the buttons to make it fit with the buttons. You know how that whole thing works. If that makes any sense. Splitter47.spreadshirt.com if you want to take a look at that.
Yeah.
And that's up there. If you want to take a look at designs, if you want to buy a shirt, go ahead. The compensation from that does not go to me because I opted out of that. I just wanted to, because if I did, the prices of those shirts and other products would be a bit higher, because that's one of those things where they split the amount earned from that to the website and me. So I didn't want to do that to our loyal listeners there. I try to give them the fairest price available for those products. So if you're interested in purchasing those, go to sported47.spreadshirt.com. That's right.
Excellent, man. You are a kind monster. That's what you are. You are. I mean, you could have made our audience members jump through hoops to go or pay a little bit extra, but no, you want to make sure that they get the best quality and the best service possible. So you went the extra mile, buddy.
That's the kind of guy I am. That's right. But yes. I think that's one of the shirts there. It goes as cheap as $10. $10.
$10. Oh, that is awesome. That is also a very good gift. You can give it to your girlfriend, and she'll immediately propose to you instead of the other way around. Or if you don't want to commit that early, then she won't propose to you. Just whatever you want. Or give it to your grandfather, and he'll be now hip and cool like Betty White, and he'll drop fat beats and lyrics, and he'll have a good time.
Drop a rap album, yeah.
Yeah, damn straight. Like he'll team up with Snoop Lion and just have a grand old time.
Yeah, that does. I did forget that. That gives me the idea to put out the female clothing line for Bloody Thumbs. I know I think we had prior ones before with the Bloody Thumbs panties, but it's time to take it to the next level.
Bloody Thumbs bras.
Yes.
Yeah.
With our initials.
Just like our signatures. It's like seal of approval.
Yeah. Hand sign.
We approve this ass.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's there if you want to check it out. That's completely optional. I'm just giving you that there, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, I mean, eventually I think later on when we get to like 130 of our episodes, 130 there, most likely I'll chip in and we'll do another contest and ship out some shirts.
Excellent. I would be more than happy to participate in that. So yeah.
There we go. There's a little tease there out there. So we got like 19 episodes left till then, and you can get prepared for whatever contest we have up our sleeves, and hopefully it won't be as convoluted as the one we had last time, which involved a lot of research to figure out. But luckily, Steve Rome did figure it out. So
it was like the Metroid Prime 2 of a contest, because it was worth it once you got through the end of it. But it's just like, wow, there's a lot of backtracking.
There was. It wasn't as convoluted as the Batman Forever riddles. Those were.
Riddle me this, Batman. What is metal but has a red top? A raccoon. What?
Oh man.
Like Jim Carrey, I know you're a comedian, but that ain't funny, man. Come on.
That's right. So yeah, other than that, I don't know if you have anything else that you wanted to talk about there. I don't believe we have any questiones for this week, so I'll just make our podcast less shorter than it needs to be.
Oh yeah, I don't have anything else, but yeah, we had a good run. Is there anything that you'd like to talk about?
I wish I did. Let me see here. I just want to refresh this questions page just in case Stanley Kubrick submits one last minute,
Right.
and not so lucky there. I thought I wrote something down to talk about here, but I don't recall. But I think this is a good spot to stop. We've
Yeah.
we had a good runs the last episode where it was gone over 2 hours, and we've talked about possibly porting over some of our episodes onto YouTube, and I tried to do that the other day and rendering our last episode. It just couldn't be done. It could be done, but I didn't want to sit a half an hour to watch the video render and another 5 hours for to upload. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a work in progress. We'll get it done. It's gonna happen. We're gonna get our stuff on YouTube and see what we can get done out there, taking it to the next level.
Are you still down for getting another channel up to have to host just all of our videos from the podcast?
I'm thinking of doing that too, but the thing is, you have to at least have a couple of views. I don't know how it works, but if we get a newer account, we're not going to be able to upload the entire thing up on there.
I got you.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure something out. But I don't know about your channel, but my channel for some reason does have the capacity to upload videos longer than 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I figured it'd make sense to put it up on there, or to do the Bloody Thumbs YouTube page. I don't know, that'd probably be easier just for search purposes. But that's the thing that it's going to be a work in progress, and talk more about there on another episode or off air. But that's just about it there, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I had more questions today, but that's about it. I mean, sometimes you don't have a question for the week. It happens. What are you gonna do?
Excellent, and sometimes it's nice not to have any pressing matters to attend to, just because if we had like the 7 questions that we had for that one episode, we'd reach over the 2-hour time limit. We would probably go up to 4 hours, I think, if we had a lot more of these. If we had a lot of questions today, but hey, that doesn't mean we don't like questions. So please submit any questions that you have to Bloody Thumbs podcast for our group page on Spill. You can also subscribe to us on iTunes. That's what all the cool kids are doing these days. We have Twitter feeds with Splinter47 and at ch_Gorog. So check those out. Also, you can go to our YouTube. You can go to our YouTube accounts where we upload some of our. Splinter has uploaded some of his walkthrough videos for games such as Dead Island or Amnesia: The Dark Descent. The Amnesia one is hilarious as hell, just because it made me scared and wet myself a couple of times. Do you have any other plugs?
Oh man, that was a while back. That Amnesia stuff. I think I did that on the good old Twitch TV, and even then I had a very strange setup there at the time. You could barely hear me through those. And one of the videos I had like a picture or something like embedded in, so the video didn't look. It looked weird. It was that's a thing when you're trying out the streaming stuff. You gotta figure out what works and what doesn't, and once you figure it out, you'll have better streams. But yeah, I don't know if that's on there. I don't think I uploaded it on the old YouTube there, but
Okay.
it should be on the Twitch.tv stuff. I forget these links, but they're there, and I know the Don't Take It Personally, Babe, Just in Your Story walkthrough is up there. I did that. That was fun to do. The game wasn't very long, it was like 3 or 4 hours, but it's up there, and some other just random stuff on there. It's on YouTube. It'll be all in the show notes. I think the last thing I did was my thoughts on David Bateson returning as Agent 47 for Absolution. So
Yeah, that's a good one too.
yeah,
So please.
and my nice setup there, and my face revealed, so it was all good.
Yeah. So, ladies, if you'd like to go see Splinter's fantastic voice to go along with that, fantastic face to go along with that golden voice, please go ahead and go check out the video.
I can't be responsible for all the the laptops that will be soiled on when they watch that.
What can I say, man? You just have that effect on women, just like good looking face, and then just like the ladies just start melting off, just like the end of Indiana Jones, just like all like and then yeah.
Burning their redness. Yeah, it's all there. I'll put it in the show notes again. And yeah, you got some stuff going on every once in a while on the old YouTube channel at youtube.com/Liberator130. Is that right?
Yes, I believe so. So check me out there. I've got a few CH's corners going on up. Yeah. So looking forward to that.
Most definitely. And also, I haven't mentioned it, or I didn't put one for the last episode because we haven't really bothered to do newer recordings of, but audibletrial.com/BuddyThumbs. So, check that out. Go to that link. Again, it'll be in the show notes, and get your free audiobook. That's how you and I got some free audiobooks through there, and it definitely benefited us, and getting some free audiobooks.
Yeah, and if you become a member, or even a free member, every month you get a free credit to download a new audiobook. I just downloaded BioShock Rapture, and I gotta say I'm a big fan of BioShock series, and the book, it takes a little while to get into, and I wasn't totally engrossed by the writing of the author, but it definitely picked up towards a little bit more of the middle, and I'm really loving it. So yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, the first time I tried out the trial, I did listen to a little bit of the Jacked, the story of the Grand Theft Auto.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really good, and yeah, I mean, you really have nothing to lose. You just sign up by going to that link we provide, audibletrial.com/BuddyThumbs. So yeah, once you sign up for that, you get just a 30-day trial, just like the other services out there like Netflix. You get that 30-day trial, and you get to try out the service there, and you get a free audiobook along with that. Not Netflix, but Audible Trial. I wish you got that with Netflix, but
that would be awesome.
The same thing with GameFly. I've been trying to work on getting the GameFly link as well, like that affiliation program that they have going there too. They have that going on as well, like as Netflix and Netflix, GameFly, and Audible. All that's going on. So working on getting that too, because it's just something that it works, and it's definitely something that it's very relevant to our podcast, the GameFly.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to that, and hope you all take advantage of this. And thank you all for sending us all your comments and questions, and maintaining our lovely viewer host relationship, because we love you all very much, and thank you for supporting us for all these many episodes.
Yeah. So for myself, this has been episode 111, and we'll see you next week.
And thank you very much for listening, everybody. We love you all, and have a wonderful, pleasant day.
Take it easy.
Bye.